Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to talk about something that is literally everywhere, but we almost never really think about it. I'm talking about the humble cardboard box. And trust me, it is way more interesting than you think.
I mean, just think about it. That online order you're tracking right now, the food in your pantry, that new gadget you just bought, they all came in a box. They're like these silent workhorses of our modern world. But there's a real secret to what makes them tick. It's not just folded paper.
So to really get to the bottom of this, we're not just going to talk theory. Let's dive into a real company that's in the trenches every single day. We're going to look at a case study of a manufacturer called Boxpool LLP.
Now, these guys are based out of Ahmedabad, India, and they've been at this since 2002. That's more than 2 decades of experience. And they make the whole range, everything from food packaging to some seriously heavy-duty corrugated boxes. They're a major player.
And you don't stay in business that long without keeping your customers happy. Check this out, a 4.2 out of 5-star rating. That's solid. It tells you right away they're not just moving boxes, they're delivering quality. Their reputation really speaks for itself. Okay, so let's peel back the layers, literally. We're going to geek out just a little bit because what makes a box so strong and versatile isn't just paper and glue. It's actually a pretty brilliant piece of engineering hiding in plain sight.
All right, first things first. Most of us just call it cardboard, right? But technically, what we're talking about is corrugated paperboard. The magic, the secret sauce, is that wavy layer you see squished between the flat sheets. That's called the flute, and it is what gives the box all of its muscle.
And this is where it gets really cool. A standard single-wall box is fine for a lot of things, but watch what happens when you add another wavy layer and another flat liner. You get a double-wall box, and the difference in strength is enormous. This is what you need for heavy items or for a package that's going on a long, rough trip.
And get this, not all those little waves are the same. That flute comes in different sizes for different jobs. You've got the big, thick A flute, which is all about cushioning fragile items. Then you have the super thin E and F flutes, which give you a nice, smooth surface for printing. That's your pizza box right there. And C flute, that's the jack of all trades, the workhorse you'll find in most shipping boxes.
So, why are we getting so deep into flutes and walls? Well, because for a business, choosing the right box isn't just a tiny detail. It's a critical decision. Different buyers have completely different priorities, and we're about to break down exactly what they care about.
First up, let's jump into the fast-paced world of food and what they call FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. Imagine you're shipping a box of fresh mangoes, or maybe a delicate cake. What are the absolute must-haves for your packaging?
It's a huge balancing act. The box has to be strong enough to be stacked in a warehouse, but it also has to be made with materials that are safe to touch your food. For something like mangoes, you literally need holes in the box so they can breathe. And on top of all that, it needs great printing to catch your eye on a crowded shelf. So it's part bodyguard and part salesperson.
Okay, now let's switch gears to a totally different world. Pharma. We're talking about medicine, life-saving products. The stakes here, well, they couldn't be higher. So what are their absolute no-compromise requirements?
For a pharma buyer, it is 100% about safety and integrity. The box has to be secure. Often it has to show if it's been tampered with. The materials have to be clean, sterile. It needs to protect the medicine inside from light or heat, and all the labeling has to be perfect. The box isn't just a container, it's a critical part of the safety protocol.
All right, let's talk about the box that probably shows up at your door a few times a week. E-commerce. What is going through the mind of an online seller when they are picking out their packaging?
This box has to be a warrior. I mean, it's going to get thrown into trucks, dropped on conveyor belts. It's a brutal journey. That's why those tough, double-wall boxes are so common. But that's only half the story. It's also the first physical thing a customer touches from that brand. That whole unboxing experience you hear about, it's a huge deal. So the box is a bodyguard, for sure, but it's also the brand's first impression.
And finally, what about when the box is basically part of the gift itself? Let's talk about the gifting market. For jewelry, luxury chocolates, you name it. What's the top priority here?
Oh, it is all about presentation. The buyer here needs a box that just feels special. The printing has to be flawless. The material needs to feel high-end. Maybe it's a custom shape that holds the item perfectly. The job of this box isn't just protection. It's to create that moment of wow, to build excitement, and frankly, to make the gift inside feel even more valuable.
So now you get the why behind all these different boxes. Let's wrap up with a little practical guide, a how-to, so you can talk about this stuff like you know what you're doing.
This sounds super basic, but trust me, it's one of the most important things to get right. You always measure a box in the same order: length, then width, then height. And you're always measuring the opening: L, XW, XH. Get that sequence wrong when you're ordering, and you're going to have a bad day. It's a simple but crucial industry rule.
And finally, you'll probably run into 3 main styles out in the wild. You've got the RSC, that's just your classic everyday shipping box. Then there's the die-cut mailer. Think of those cool, flat folding boxes you get from subscription services. And the telescopic box, which is just a fancy way of saying it has a separate lid that fits over the top. You know, like a shoebox. Each one built for a purpose.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. We've looked at the science, we've looked at what different businesses need, we've looked at the basic designs. So what's the big takeaway? Why does all this matter so much?
I think it really boils down to this. The box is the very first handshake your brand has with a customer. Its job is to protect the product, yes, but it also has to represent the brand and, ultimately, deliver on the promise you made when they clicked buy.
And that is the real key here. The right box isn't just a throwaway cost you try to minimize. It's a critical business asset. It is an investment in product safety, an investment in your brand perception, and an investment in customer satisfaction.
So here's what I want to leave you with. The next time a package shows up at your door, before you rip it open, just take a second, look at it, and ask yourself, is this box just a cost to the company that sent it, or is it actually creating value? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.